swagger like us, swagger like us, swagger like us. No one on the corner has swagger like us, swagger like us, swagger like us.
First time in 49 years, the St. Louis Blues are headed to the Stanley Cup Final.
Breeze hits it in the air to center. We will see you tomorrow night. It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions. The Cubs have won the pennant. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Everything you need to know about sports is right here. This is Sports Central with Robert Hickman and Jared Cooney.
Memorial Day is about honoring the fallen, the heroes of America who have given the ultimate sacrifice in our defense and in defense of freedom.
Freedom is not free. People sacrifice their lives for the freedoms that we call free here in America. So to remember those is to honor those. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay one's life down for his friends.
We must remember and honor our fallen with overwhelming aloha, for they are our heroes.
Take time to understand what each of these plaques represent. Their lives, their families, the stories, the campaigns they fought in, Iwo Jima, Tinian, Guam, Midway, Afghanistan, Iraq. There are so many different campaigns, so many battles have been fought in defense of us.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Memorial Day episode of Sports Central. My name is Robert. I am one of your hosts right there on Sports Central. I am joined by my great friend, the one and only Mr. Jared Cooney.
What's going on, y'all?
Jared is joining us. You guys are going to get to see some pretty cool stuff today. We are changing up and making things a lot better in the way that we are doing our show. We got some new camera angles. We got some all kinds of stuff. But the number one thing that we're getting ready to get into, we're super excited because, let's see, we're going to go camera there. We'll put, all right, let's do this. We'll introduce him first. Let's not do all that. What we're going to do is we've got an awesome dude on the line. I cannot believe that he actually gave us the time of day to talk to us. He is a good friend of the show now, and we cannot, thank him more for allowing us to talk to him. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce to you Mr. Mike McMullen. Mike, how are you, buddy?
Good. I think you kind of overdid the intro, but
well,
I appreciate you guys having me on the line, though.
Well, Mike, when you see the feed of the show, you'll appreciate what I put for you as our caption. It quote says Mike McMullen, athletic superstar.
That's facts.
Athletic has been superstar. It has been.
So, Mike, how are you doing today, man?
Good, really good.
Good. So, if you guys do not know who Mike McMullen is, you need to get on the ball and figure it out because Mike is, like I said, a super athlete. Mike is a former Major League Baseball pitcher as well as a superstar in arena football. Well, Mike, was it arena football or is it considered something else?
No, it was arena football.
Okay.
The St. Louis Attack here. Yep.
I don't want people to get confused that it was arena football like the Philadelphia Soul and stuff like that, because there are differences in the leagues.
Yes. It could be called indoor football, arena football. I mean, it was. Everyone knows it as arena football, though.
Okay, good.
There's different leagues to arena football.
Okay, perfect. Well, Mike was a superstar in the fact that he was league MVP in the year 2015. So Mike can, try and downplay it all he wants, but Mike was a superstar for the league.
That's an accolade. Show it.
Right, but Mike didn't start out in football. Mike, what did you actually start out in?
Well, I did start out in baseball. I'm from California, so I started out. I played both sports in high school and growing up, and then going into high school, I was really good. And then I went in California. There's a ton of junior colleges, so I went to a junior college for 2 years, Glendale Junior College in California, and I had a scholarship. My letter of intent was signed to San Diego State, and then the San Francisco Giants drafted me. And as an 18-year-old kid, you're going to take the money every time.
For sure. Well, Kyler Murray didn't take it.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Well, Kyler Murray, I played with his uncle, Calvin Murray. I actually talked to him before the draft and everything. So,
okay.
He loved football. He comes from a good family. I had nothing when I was a kid. A lot of it comes from the circumstances. If I had that opportunity and my parents had a lot of money or was well off and didn't have to worry about it, I could have chose differently. But at that point, it was just my dad, my brother, me, and my sister. And so, getting a big signing bonus was helped the family too. So, and at that point, going to college, it wasn't like this was back in 1991. It wasn't the same. So, I took that money at that point. So,
right.
But Kyler was in a little bit different situation.
Well, I want to put a placeholder there for 1 second because I want to come back to that. But so you did go on. You did play baseball. You were with a couple different. Right now, we're showing the picture of you when you were with the San Francisco Giants.
Yes.
Everyone is basking in that glory right now. And so much young, handsome Mike McMullen.
Yes, much young.
But Mike, you went on to play in the Twin system and a couple other different team systems. What happened? It says that you made it all the way to AAA. We see you're in the Giants uniform. Did you ever make the big call?
I did not. I was one of their top prospects. So it's such a weird story. So I'll never forget this. So December 19th, 1999, I was in a movie theater watching Any Given Sunday, and I felt really weird. So we left. I was there with my wife and my brother and sister, and I was visiting my mom in Colorado. And I had to leave, and I went home, and I really didn't know what was going on. I just felt really weird, dizzy, short of breath, just everything. So, that year, obviously I'm going to big league camp. I go to big league camp. I'm pitching well, but I just don't feel right. So I remember we're facing the Cubs in Mesa, Arizona. I'm in right field, and they want me to warm up, and I just can't. I can't move. I'm frozen. My heart's racing. And so the run in Arizona spring training, the run from the Cubs facility in right field to our dugouts all the way across. So I have to run past Sammy Sosa and all these people running across. So they take me to the hospital, rush me there, and they do all these tests. I'm like, they're fine. Well, that year, when you look at my stats, you see I start walking a lot of people. I can't, when I go out there, I can't focus. I'm just a mess. And I just couldn't throw strikes. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't focus out there. My heart was beating. There's times I was shortness of breath. Well, after I stopped playing, I went to a couple different organizations trying to fix it. But finally, in 2004, they diagnosed me with anxiety, and I got some medicine. And by that time, it was too late to go back to pitch. But
wow,
I remember Dusty Baker and Barry Bonds and all these guys, you know, because I had heart monitors on me and all this stuff, and they were just like, you know, nothing's wrong. They kept telling me nothing's wrong with me, and I kept saying there's something's not right. Like I just can't. I couldn't focus.
Yeah, so you've got these two big name guys, Dusty and Barry, and who else was on that team? I don't even.
Jeff Kent, JT Snow.
Yeah, all these guys looking at you going, Mike, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and they were like, you know, so I remember when they sent me down, he was like, you know, Dusty, because I would have made the team, and he's like, you know, go down and get healthy. It's just at that point too, you know, this was 1990, you know, 1998, 99, 2000. They didn't, you know, it wasn't, the mental health stuff wasn't really prevalent as it is now, you know.
Sure.
So, it really just, you know, I'm glad, you know, I feel better now. I mean, I talk to the kids I coach to all the time about it, because there's a lot of I'm very open about what goes on with me mental health wise. You know, even when I played arena football, you know, I would get in the huddle and sometimes have it, but at that point, you know, I'd have an anxiety attack or I'd feel a little weird, but at that point I knew how to control it. I knew I was going to be okay.
Right.
I knew what was going on with me, which was half the battle. You know, back when I played baseball, I had no idea.
Wow. So a lot of people, I mean, this story really isn't just about, you know, becoming a football player and stuff like that. It's about mental health and you know,
that's how important it is.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know this, but in professional wrestling right now, there's a big situation happening because one of the guys who was supposed to get a really big push freaked out and walked out of the building. And it was because he had an anxiety attack. He didn't feel like he was going to be good enough to. He talks about it now, and they talk about it. He didn't think he was going to be good enough to live up there to the potential that they wanted him to be, and so he freaked out, had a panic attack, and left.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and people don't understand it, and that's how I felt pitching wise. I don't know. You know, people always ask me what triggers it. I don't know. I didn't know back then. You know, maybe it was the pressure I felt because I was right there. You know, I was going to be in the big leagues. I was going to be, you know, I was one of their top prospects. I still don't know because I feel like I was okay, but I wasn't. And that's what people don't understand. Like, some people can't control it. You don't know what triggers it.
Exactly.
You don't know. You know, somebody always, you know, they would always say, oh well. Even nowadays, like, oh well, you know, you must be stressed about something. You must be like, no, I don't know. I feel fine. I just. You know, sometimes it just hits you. Yeah, it's just random. It just hits you, and you know, you can't perform at a high level.
And Mike is not the only athlete, I'm sure, that deals with this.
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean, I'm sure we don't even realize it. How many of these bigger name athletes are dealing with the same kind of situation? So for someone like Mike to be able to put this out there, and other people to be able to, you know, possibly get something out of this is really cool. So, Mike, we leave baseball in 2004. Yep. How do we get to football?
Well, I was always a really good football player. So when I figured out what was wrong with me and they put me on medicine and I felt better, I wanted to keep doing something. So I came across the Show Me Believers. So I went out there and I was playing for them, and I broke my wrist before the season even started. So then, you know, the River City Rage came along, and in between that, I played some semi-pro football, you know, just to stay in shape, because that's in the summer, and then arena football's in the spring. I just always wanted to stay active, and I love competing. So, and I felt better about I felt better. I felt like me again. So, you know, I just kept playing. I was a really good quarterback, so that wasn't an issue. So, and I always loved football, and so I just kept playing till I couldn't play anymore.
So, were you you played quarterback in high school, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So, big controversy around Kyler Murray, especially playing both sports, baseball and football, was that it was feasible him playing both sports, but the main concern was him playing both quarterback and pitcher, because the mechanics were going to be so different. How were you able to, I guess, be able to swing that?
Well, it's funny because going into it is the mechanics are different, but it was always easy for me as a pitcher. See, he's an outfielder. I don't know. I was a pitcher. I didn't play any positions. I couldn't hit. I sucked as a hitter, so I didn't even try to hit.
Hey, I batted 500 my senior year. That was only because I got 18 at bats.
You probably batted better than
I got one. Oh yeah, I could care less about hitting, but I just knew, in your mind, you just knew you throw enough bullpens and stuff. It is a wear on your arm. Like, I know today, coaching-wise, I really, I coach quarterbacks and stuff in high school and do the offense, so I monitor my quarterbacks throwing, too, because people just think it's just pitching a baseball. It's throwing a football, too. You still got to monitor their throws and how many throws they're making and stuff like that. But for me, it was easy. I knew that, hey, look, I had the short arm and I had to, have a quick release in football. And then in baseball, you have to have a little bit longer release and your mechanics are a little bit different. But it's all about reps. I mean, when you get into that season, you throw bullpens and you practice. And it was a very easy transition for me. So I didn't have an issue with it.
So you go on to play in the X League is what it was called. And
yep.
You play here in St. Louis. You played with the St. Louis Attack. Did you play with the Rage or the Raiders?
Yep. No, I did not play with the Raiders. I played with the Rage.
Okay. I loved the Rage. I thought it was awesome. I loved the Attack when it was here in St. Louis. I did not get to check out any of the Raiders games either. So you guys go on and you become the Offensive Player of the Year 2014, the X League MVP of the entire league.
Yeah.
In 2015,
yeah.
How does that? What is that like when you get that phone call going? Hey, so you've been picked as the MVP of the X League.
Well, you know what? I was 41 years old at that time. I was, those 2 years I played, I was 40 and 41. So, I loved it. I mean, it just showed that, I could still play at a pretty high level at that age, and my kids got to see, my son who's 16, my daughter who's 13, and my other daughter who's 6, they never got to see me play. They never got to see me play baseball, which was, obviously a way bigger deal. But
that's my one disappointment in life right now, too.
My kids got to see me kind of be a big deal and do well, and that was kind of it was a bigger deal than it was a big deal to me, especially at my age, showing that, hey, look, I could do this at, Tom Brady, you're not the only dude who can do this at 40 years old.
Well, it's pretty awesome, Mike. We appreciate you coming on with us today. Mike, what are you excited to see in the NFL? Well, first off, I want to go back to what we talked about earlier because I want to get your opinion on this. You talked about the fact that you didn't really have a whole lot when you were coming up. You saw that signing bonus, and you went, I'm jumping on this because I want the money to be able to help family.
Yeah.
Do you feel that that these, and I don't want to ruin any opportunities for you in the future if there are opportunities, but I want to ask this question. Do you feel that these leagues somewhat exploit the players in those situations to get them to do these different things, and like the NCAA, where these players get the promise of going professional, and these schools are basically taking money from these players out of their pockets by not paying them? Do you see that, or what's your opinion on that?
Well, being a high school coach now, because I coach at Christian High School here in O'Fallon, and I have I have some very talented kids right now, and colleges are looking at them. The thing is, as coaches, we have to prepare them. I mean, it is a business. NCAA is a business, and us as coaches have to educate these kids and let them know, what they're getting into. It's just like teachers. They're teaching you math. They're teaching you. Us as coaches, we can't just teach them about football. We have to teach them that this is a business. A college comes in here, they may like you 1 minute, they may not like you another minute. We have to help them make a educated decision on what college, they should go to. Ohio State may love you, but maybe you're a better fit at Kent State or Toledo or maybe a smaller D1 because there's not as much pressure. you're getting $100,000 or whatever your scholarship ends up being to go play football or baseball or wherever at a college. You know, they're still investing money in you. It's the kid's choice. I mean, you don't have to go. You don't have to go. You don't have to take that scholarship. You know, we all have choices in life. I mean, do I think colleges use the kids? Oh, it's a $1 billion business. I mean, they're your employers basically. I mean, you don't have to go work for them. You have choices. You choose to go to that school and work for them on what you know. Do I think they should help the kids out a little bit more because of all the money they're making? Sure, but it's us. It's our job as coaches to educate them, and when coaches come and talk to them, to let them see the whole picture, what they're getting into.
Right.
And that can help them. I tell all these kids it's a business. Always remember, they're going to tell you everything you want to hear, but it's a business.
Right.
You know, and it's hard for a 16-year-old kid to understand that.
Sure. And I follow you on social media. I see you taking the kids out to, Mizzou games and going to, all these different schools and, being present with them to try and, help them understand exactly what's going on. So, Mike, we appreciate you, man. Where can people check you out if they want to follow you and see what you're up to and how the team is doing this year?
Oh, on Twitter, I'm at Coach Mike CHS. Instagram, I'm Mike McMullen 13. Facebook, Mike McMullen. I'm you know this. I'm all over social media. I love it. I love being present on social media. I love seeing people, what they're doing and interacting with new people. I despise politics or anything that has to do with politics. But if you're going to be funny and do some funny stuff, let's be friends. And but yeah, you see it, Robert. I'm always on social media, putting something out there, keeping track, and trying to be funny and entertaining. But we have a good team over at Christian High. I get some good players that are going to be superstar players. So
awesome.
They should definitely check it out.
Definitely check it out. You can go to you can Google St. Louis Prep Sports. Check out Christian High School there. Mike is the head coach over there, as well as just support Mike and support all these guys. Mike, we appreciate you being with us, man, and let's go Blues.
Yes.
Oh, let's go Blues. Hey, listen, I haven't watched any games all year except playoffs. I've watched every single playoff game. My wife is ready for it to be over.
My wife, we're watching the other night, and she's like, babe, you can't go downstairs. You can't go down, because I was trying to come and go into my office and get some stuff done. She's like, you can't go downstairs yet. You've watched the whole game, and we're winning. And if you go downstairs, we're going to lose. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. So
She's right, though.
Absolutely. We're super excited, man, and can't wait for the Blues. But, Mike, we appreciate you, man. Definitely, anytime you want to come by, sit in, you could sit and do a whole show with us, man. You're more than welcome.
Hey, look, I love talking, so you guys just let me know.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Best of
luck.
luck.
All right, guys, no problem. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
All right, thanks. All right, see you. Bye.
Mike McMullen. Appreciate Mike joining us today.
Definitely.
Absolutely an awesome person to talk to. I just choked on my own spit. Sorry. Yeah. So Mike is a cool dude, man. I appreciate Mike. He's really fun. Yeah, but I want to play this little ditty for you right here.
I already know.
Down for the final 20 seconds. We'll let the crowd take you the rest of the way.
Guys, for the first time in 49 years, the St. Louis Blues are going to the Stanley Cup playoffs, man. It is so cool. Oh, hey. What just happened there? Somebody was wanting me to hear my own self. I don't know what just happened. That was crazy. I don't know. But yeah, man, dude, I'm so excited for this.
No, definitely.
It's been so long since this happened.
I feel like it's been long since, and it hasn't been that long, but since St. Louis has been to, I guess, a major championship.
We went to the Western Conference Final in 2016.
Right.
And lost to the San Jose Sharks.
I remember.
And they went on to lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins that year. And then,
about that.
yeah, I was too, because I'm a Penguins fan. But it was nice to be able to. I'm echoing. It was nice to be able to, finally get over that hump and get that piece, that last little piece that we all have been kind of waiting for, and just. It finally happened, and it was really good to see that happen.
Just to witness it.
Yeah, witness it.
I had a coworker that was actually at Game 6, and he said he really can't remember the feeling just because he was such in awe, and everybody around was just screaming and celebrating, and just to be in that moment was for the first time in 49 years. This girl that I used to work with, she went to Game 7 when we won the World Series. 2013, the 2013 time, and she told me, she said, I felt like I was floating on air. I believe it.
And I was like, yeah, and she goes, but then I realized I had just been jumping up and down so much that my legs went numb. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's different.
Yeah, you might want to go.
You should probably go see somebody about that.
Stop jumping, maybe.
So,
but definitely, congratulations to the St. Louis Blues.
And the Blues, I want to pull this up here because St. Louis and Boston.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
The we're the only team. Yeah, here it is.
Every time
we have become, St. Louis and Boston are etched in history because we are the only two cities to play each other in all four of the major sports. So. Yeah. The Super Bowl, I'm trying to count the X's. Super Bowl 36.
Okay, you can have fun with that.
Super Bowl 36, the Patriots and the Rams, even though they play in Foxborough, that's a suburb of Boston, so it's considered Boston.
Yeah.
So Super Bowl 36, the New England Patriots and the St. Louis Rams. And then way back in the day, this actually happened twice, the 1957-58 and the 60-61 season, the St. Louis Hawks, who are now the Atlanta Hawks, the St. Louis Hawks and the Boston Celtics, and then
we're the only team to beat Bill Russell in the finals, by the way. He's 11 for 12.
Who?
The St. Louis Hawks.
Oh, yeah. And then the Boston Red Sox in 46, 67, 2004, and 2013. Oh, wait.
It was
2011 is the year that I was talking about because we lost, in 2013.
Damn, Boston.
St. Louis Cardinals just can't get over the Boston Red Sox.
Not yet.
Then in the NHL, 1970 and 2019.
The last time we were in the Stanley Cup.
Yep, the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues. The Boston Bruins swept us 4-0 in 1970. All time, Boston leads us 7-3.
Yeah, it'll be different.
It's so cool,
St.
man.
Louis has a chip on their shoulder. The way that they stormed back this season.
Well, not only that chip, man, but it's just fun because we've waited so long for this.
Yeah.
Like literally, St. Louis is the NHL's version of the Chicago Cubs. They get you right there. They get you right there, and then screws the pooch.
The Cubs haven't done anything since before they won their last championship in over 100 years. The Blues are always consistently good. We're always in the playoffs. Yeah, we always disappoint.
But so were the Cubs. The Cubs were in the playoffs quite often.
Yeah, but they've had
whether it's the wild card or whatever. But they never made it past. I mean, up until last year, up until last year, the Blues had the longest streak of playoff appearances.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited, man. I want to play you this other clip real quick, Jared, because I want to get your opinion on this clip. It won't be up there. You won't see it. but I want you to hear this.
If
This
you're
is
Kyrie,
Jalen Rose.
you're already asked to leave from playing with LeBron. You go to Boston, it seems like a turnkey situation that should work. It does not work.
Right.
It kind of looks like you go back crawling to LeBron.
Okay. Well, not crawling. It's the whole deal of sometimes we learn our mistakes of what we've done. And he did it earlier this year. You remember the whole apology to LeBron? Sometimes one man's crawling back is another man's honest reflection on the circumstance.
Correct.
And assess yourself, assess the circumstances, and say, you know what? Maybe I'm better suited being a great player with another great player to take some of that heat and of leadership and all of that off of me. I think that would be a very legitimate way for Kyrie to look at it.
But all of these circumstances are unique because the Nets and the Clippers both have 2 max spots, but they're considered the secondary teams in their own market.
Right.
You have all of these max caliber players who are free agents that have already won championships. You got the reigning back-to-back finals MVP who may lead the best team in basketball. So we have not seen anything like this.
So, Jared, what's your opinion on that?
So, I honestly don't feel like what Jalen said is quote-unquote crawling back to LeBron James. I don't feel like that's the situation at all. When you have something that's working so well, but then, everybody's thinking maybe I can do this on myself or I can be the big man somewhere else. I want to be the man. Everybody has that feeling. So, yes, Kyrie did leave LeBron in Cleveland to go play on his own and be his own leader in Boston, which, yes, it hasn't worked out. We've seen it hasn't worked out. It's best that he splits from Boston. But for him to say he's crawling back to LeBron, that's inaccurate. When you have something that's working so well, you try to go do something different, it doesn't work out. Why not go back to what was working good?
Right. Why wouldn't you go? I mean, if things were gelling, things were good.
I get, everybody says if it wasn't broken, don't fix it. But him and LeBron worked. That wasn't broken, So for him to, and he wants to talk about how the Nets and the Clippers both have max contracts. Well, the Lakers have a max spot also open. So, yes, go to LA, go to the bigger market in Los Angeles, and win some more championships. That way you can get more incentives. That's in your contract. And when LeBron transitions out, that'll be your team, probably along with Anthony Davis or Jimmy Butler or Klay Thompson or Kawhi Leonard or whoever else is going to go to LA. So then now you're the next Golden State. You're the next 90s Bulls team. That's
right, absolutely. I mean, I think it looks bad somewhat, but I don't think it looks as bad as Jalen Rose was putting it, where Jalen was making it sound like, hey, if you go back to a team with LeBron, you're basically trash.
No.
Like, I don't see it like that.
Kyrie's still one of the best point guards in this league.
Right. I see it as he's going back or he's partnering with somebody to help win a championship. Just like Kevin Durant did.
Right.
People want to crap on Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant, we're going to play
smart business.
We're going to play a clip here in a second of Kevin Durant and what he's thinking of right now.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with it at all that Kevin Durant decided to go to Oakland, and play with Golden State. Because he made a business decision.
I did at first, but as the seasons progressed and I saw his reasonings why, and it was a smart business move for him. He can sign these 1 or 2 year contracts, get a bigger percentage of his contract,
sure.
less seasons. He's winning championships. He's winning MVPs, final MVPs. He's getting his accolades up. I had a problem with it at first just because he did go to the best team ever.
Right. It looked like he was just kind of
best player ever.
Yeah. It looked like he was just trying to make a cop out, and he was like, "Hey, I need to go somewhere,
right? Because
I won a championship."
But I mean, honestly, I get that he doesn't want to play with Westbrook.
Right.
I see that.
Well, give us your opinion, man. You can send us an email at On Air. It's right there on the screen, On Air at sports-fox.com. Let us know what you think. Let's see what Kevin Durant has to say real quick.
Meant to this team and when your body of work, how have you processed just that dumb talking point of, the idea of, they're better without you and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get away from that, because I watch the games and you watch the lead up into the games, and that's all everybody talking about. And my perspective is just like, I want to focus on rehab, but I also want to be a fan of my teammates, you know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy, my teammates from a different view, you know what I'm saying? And, a a lot of those guys sit in the chair and cheer for the rest of the guys, the starting guys. Now I get an opportunity to do the same thing. And I turn on TV, since I can't travel with the team, all you hear is the noise, you know what I'm saying? So as a player, I think about that, and I'm just like, that's just not true. You know, that's not facts when it comes to from a basketball perspective. And but the competitive side of me, I also like to talk basketball as well. So if you're going to say something like that, I'm going to engage in it. So it's all fun, it's all cool, but I know the real.
So, I mean, basically he's saying, look, you guys sit there and bash it and talk bad, but really, there's nothing wrong. Like, I'm doing what the guys that are on the bench are doing. I'm just doing it now, and I'm giving that to my starter guys, Draymond and Clay and Steph.
Yeah.
You know, I'm giving them the credit, and I'm giving them the the same hype that the guys were giving me when I was playing.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I like his response to that. He was responding basically to everybody saying, since he's gotten to Golden State, everybody has pitted him against his own team. It's been Golden State and Kevin Durant. It's not him within Golden State. You know?
Right. It's not just like people didn't say
just Golden State.
People didn't say LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just said the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah. Or like when he went down to Miami, it was LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh.
Right.
It wasn't never LeBron like against.
Right.
D-Wade
it was always a group.
You know. And I really respect him for that, just for the simple fact that you don't think that these guys that have won the past 2 championships, they're on their way to three-peat, or just sitting back, kicking, laughing. And he does have a point to where, yes, he can talk basketball, so he has that right to say something against everybody that's talking about it or against it, you know?
Right.
So everybody has an opinion about it. He can have his own opinion about it. He has First Amendment rights to where he can speak about it. And if people don't like it, then they shouldn't speak on it themselves, especially directly towards him, you know?
Yeah, that's where, people when they are
everybody's
as good
but doesn't want to get criticized.
Absolutely. And when they are as good as someone like a Kevin Durant, you're always going to have haters that are coming on top of you, and they're always going to try and pull you down, and that's where the problem is.
Everybody bashes LeBron to this day.
Right.
But he's done literally everything he can humanly do to try to make this world a better place. He stands up for equal rights. He stands up for justice. He opens up schools. He donates millions.
He does a lot.
You haven't heard of not one scandal, one cheating scandal, no fraud, no anything.
Yeah,
but
everybody loves Kobe.
Him to this day.
Everybody loves Kobe Bryant, but everybody forgets about the fact that Kobe Bryant cheated on his wife, and to get her to not be so upset and pissed off at him, he gave her like a $5 million ring.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets about that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to forget about
KD, that. Everybody you're going to have your haters. Just keep doing you. You know, that's all you can do at the end of the day. That's why you went to Golden State in the first place and left OKC. Yes, everybody loved you in OKC, but you realized that wasn't what's best for you, which I get that. You're not going to stay at your same job your entire life because, okay, you're 16 years old, you got a job at McDonald's or something. You're going to want to do that when you're 40? No, you're going to want to have different and be better in your life. And he felt at the time that was his best point, was going to Golden State.
Well, talking about people that are great athletes, let's take a listen to what Donovan McNabb thinks of himself.
I heard this.
I think he is a borderline Hall of Famer. In fact, he may be right at the line where if you're better than McNabb, you're in. If you're not as good as McNabb, you're out. Like, that's where I think he is. I think there are arguments to be had on both sides. But he makes a point that people don't really want to get on, which is his numbers are a lot better than Troy Aikman's were. It's worth noting, Troy Aikman had all of one season in his career with 20 touchdown passes. That was it. I think Troy Aikman had three or 10 or something like that. 10 3-touchdown games, I think, in his whole career. 10. Like, that's what I think it was. Almost flipped it up. Like, McNabb was a better player than people remember, and it's kind of odd that his peak has been forgotten.
I feel like the argument against McNabb is the argument the Supreme Court once gave about indecency, right? You know it when you see it. But McNabb, even if we don't consider him an obvious Hall of Famer, when you factor in the supporting casts, right? Troy Aikman, man, it is not even close the help that Troy Aikman got versus what Donovan McNabb was working with for years and years, basically alone in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, the 1 year in that early portion of his career that he had a receiver worth discussing, he had Terrell Owens, and he had the best season of his career. Other than that, he was dragging James Thrash, Todd Pinkston, and what's the other? Freddie
Mitchell.
Yeah, he was dragging these cats in here to the NFC Championship game. Like, no, he did not have a lot to work with early in his career. We forget his second year in the league, he was this runner-up for the MVP because he single-handedly carried that team to where it went. So, no, I think that he is a dude that should be considered for the Hall of Fame. I don't think we give him enough credit.
Okay, I have a problem with one thing there, and the main problem is he didn't have garbage receivers. He did have good receivers. Pinkston was a good receiver. Thrash was a good receiver.
They were okay. They were average.
Okay, let's go.
When you're going to put them on the level of Terrell Owens, they're very average.
Everyone is average compared to Terrell Owens.
But
everyone is average compared to Terrell Owens.
So
let's see.
You put him in the Hall of Fame?
Donovan. No, I don't think McNabb was good enough. I don't think he was good enough.
What?
When he went to, I think he was better when he went to. Where did he finish? No, when he went to Washington, the one season at Washington, I feel like he was good. So this wasn't even early in his career. Well, I guess you could say it was early. 2004. Somewhat. To 2004 is the year they went to the Super Bowl. That's the year with Terrell Owens and the horse collar.
Right.
So they went to the Super Bowl that year. But let's see. Oh, give me some stats. I want to click on. I want to see a year. Let's go 2001 Philadelphia. 2001 Philadelphia. Wide receivers. Todd Pinkston, James Thrash, Freddie Mitchell.
Where are they at?
Those are pretty good.
They're okay. They're average.
2000. Let's go 2006. 2006. You got. 2006. You can't bitch and complain. You got Jason Avant, Hank Baskett, and Dante Stallworth. You got good players there. 2008. 2008. All of a sudden, there's only 3 wide receivers for this team. There's Jason Avant, Hank Baskett, and Reggie Brown.
No,
and then
Jason Avant, he was pretty good. I remember when he ended up getting like Brent Selleck, he was good.
Okay, but what about 2009? 2009, you couldn't get done. Hold on, you couldn't get done with this. Jason Avant, Kevin Curtis, Deshaun Jackson, and Jeremy Maclin.
A young Deshaun Jackson and a young Jeremy Maclin.
Sure.
In the following season, when everything was falling apart, they was getting rid of LeSean McCoy. Andy Reid everybody was on their way out.
But you had Brian Westbrook. You had Brian Westbrook as your running back.
Westbrook was old at that point. Yes, we get that he was phenomenal in his prime, but you got to think running backs only last 4 to 6 years in the league. He was old for him.
But Jared, how can Michael Vick do well with that team? But Donovan can't.
First quarterback to throw 30 touchdowns with fewer than 10 interceptions. 16 seasons where you threw 20 plus touchdowns. How do you not put that in the Hall of Fame? Because he doesn't have any rings? He took that depleted Eagles team to the Super Bowl where they faced, yes, Tom Brady and the Patriots, and we know the outcome of that back in 2004. Right. But if we're gonna talk, I'm not comparing the two sports, the 4 athletes, but if we're gonna talk McNabb and Aikman, we're gonna talk LeBron and Jordan. The only thing that
I do think I'm better now.
If you're gonna say Jordan is only better than LeBron because of rings, then yes, Aikman is better than McNabb only because of rings. But that's the only thing Troy Aikman has over him. Now, a lot of people are going to put Eli in the Hall of Fame just because he's won 2 Super Bowl rings. But McNabb's numbers are better than Eli's.
But Eli's going to go in there because of his name.
Yeah,
he's not even. We know,
but it's the simple fact that he's going to get put in there.
Sure.
But if we're going to base the Hall of Fame off stats and what they've done in their career, McNabb deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. But, no, yes, put him in the Hall of Fame.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think McNabb has Hall of Fame caliber.
He wasn't this.
I never thought he was great when he played.
No, he wasn't, of course, as accurate, or he didn't have a deep ball like a Tom Brady or like a Ben Roethlisberger back in his prime or something like that. But I feel like he was really underrated. He had a decent prime, and I'll take him to Canton.
We'll see. Speaking of Hall of Famers, we have this. Jared, I don't know if you've heard about this, but apparently Ocho Cinco has something to do with this. But there's a 40 yards of gold tournament that is getting ready to happen. And if you don't know what this is, it is a tournament apparently that's just 12 offensive, 12 defensive players, and they'll run head-to-head in a 40-yard dash.
Yes.
Like, that's all this is. And I'm trying to get in touch with a couple of these guys because there are a few of these guys that I want to talk to, including one guy. So we talked about how last week Dakota Allen from Last Chance U on Netflix and Ronald Ollie both got drafted into the NFL this season. Last year, I didn't even realize this happened because he was an undrafted free agent. John Franklin III, who was the quarterback for Last Chance U,
got drafted.
Has been drafted by the Chicago Bears. But he doesn't play quarterback anymore. He's a defensive back. So we're going to see how that is. But on the offensive side, we've got Ted Ginn Jr., Alvin Kamara, Jeff Badgett. Let's see, who else do we know here? Jacoby Ford, Mark Ingram.
Kevin Byard, Buda Baker, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie.
Yeah, on the defensive side, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, John Franklin III, Jerome Baker. And apparently there's a mystery participant on both sides. So I don't know what this whole thing is about, but go check out 40yardsofgold.com from what I'm being told.
I have either Alvin Kamara or Ted Ginn winning that.
Well, I would guarantee you on the offensive side, Ocho Cinco is going to be the mystery participant.
I was either going to say him or Devin Hester. Great retirement for Chicago Bears. It might be, or it could be T.O.
Wait, what position? Was Devin technically an offensive receiver?
He was a receiver and then a punt and kickoff return.
I knew he did the punt and kick, but for some reason my brain was telling me that he did something defensively. But I might be wrong. But someone who did play defensive football, veteran cornerback Adam Pac-Man Jones, as well as former TNA World Tag Team Champion Adam Pac-Man Jones, has decided after 12 years to call it quits. He announced on social media that, quote, "I am content. I had a hell of a run during it. I'm at a point where I didn't feel I would be top level if I tried to play now. I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with my family and my kids. Much respect to Ocho Cinco. I always thought he was a great ball player. There were some off the field situations that were problems, but
he always did. Not always, but he did have a couple off the field issues. But he had a hell of a career.
Oh yeah,
14 seasons.
Great career. And then it was announced that Ndamukong Suh is signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know how much that's for, Jared?
It was a 1 year.
1 year for $9.2 million. $9.2 million. He has decided to.
And that's a good pickup with them just losing Gerald McCoy. So.
But they released Gerald McCoy.
No.
Which is stupid. Why would you let somebody like that go?
I don't know. I mean, maybe to sign the Ndamukong Suh, maybe they had that already in the works. But if anything, I'm going to pair them two together and make that defensive line a monster.
Oh, yeah. That would be a smart decision.
But I'm not a GM, so.
Correct. Couple stories real quick before we wrap up things today. Chiefs, new Kansas City Chief, Tyrann Mathieu. Is it Tyrann Mathieu?
I say Mathieu.
Okay, that's
Matthew. I've heard both.
Okay, I wasn't sure. But he's apparently being exploited by someone in his family. He's been a victim of a $5 million extortion attempt by a family member. Sears, we'll just say Sears because I cannot pronounce that first name, who's a 21-year-old individual, is accused of threatening to reveal personal information about Mathieu. According to documents from the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Louisiana, Sears allegedly ordered Mathieu in April to put $1.5 million in his bank account within a week before upping the demand to $5 million. Sears allegedly said he would contact TMZ if he did not receive the money. Sears, who is described as a family member and close associate of Mathieu, allegedly sent a message to Mathieu's friends that said, "I want $1.5 million by Friday or I'm going to kill you all." Wow.
That's pretty deep.
I mean, that's a...
you need to really watch who you keep around you.
That was the thing I said about Aaron Hernandez.
You know, family or not, all family isn't good for you. Some families toxic. A lot of your friends who you think have your back is toxic. You really have to be careful who you keep around you, just because you don't know what you're going to tell somebody, and then you're going to piss them off because you told them no to something, and now they have a bounty on your head. They're going to blackmail you.
Right. But that's the one thing I said about Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez was such a good ball player, and unfortunately, just because he had bad people around because he couldn't get himself out of the streets, and it ruined him. I mean, that's the reason why he did what he did, and unfortunately, he has passed away. Okay, so in our little teaser video I did earlier in the week, I talked about this story. Jared, I don't know if you've heard much about this, so I'm going to play this little clip for you. But 19-year-old Carter Stewart has decided to skip the MLB draft and has now signed a very lucrative 6-year deal worth $7 million to play in Japan. Yep. So let's hear this story real quick.
Jeff, this is a really interesting situation. If things go well for Carter, what does that mean for Major League Baseball long term?
Well, the implications potentially are enormous because for a really long time, players have looked at the draft almost as a necessary evil. And Major League Baseball has played it like, okay, this is for competitive balance, when in reality, players look at it more like cost control. They just didn't have an alternative to go anywhere else. If Carter Stewart goes to Japan, though, and excels there, he will be a free agent in Major League Baseball at 25 years old. The last player to reach true free agency at 25 years old was Alex Rodriguez. And Bryce Harper and Manny Machado weren't there until 26. Most players don't reach till 28, 29, even 30. So the idea that not only would Major League teams be losing those early cost-controlled years that are so valuable to them, but then in addition, they would have to pay more because players hit free agency early, really could theoretically turn the whole dynamic between the players in the league upside down. We're a long way off from that, though. The first thing that needs to happen is Carter Stewart needs to go to Japan and pitch well.
So, I mean, that's a big thing. He was originally supposed to go to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He didn't sign with Atlanta.
Went back to community college.
Well, they said that they thought he was injured. They offered him a $4.98 million signing bonus. Went back to JUCO, and was expected to go early in the second round, but decided to
go play over in Japan.
Go play in Japan, man. That's such a crazy thing.
If you look at it, it kind of follows the same suit with. I mean, okay, yeah, it's not the NCAA, but it follows the same suit with the G League. Luka Doncic, the guard that was just drafted, possibly Rookie of the Year for the Dallas Mavericks, has said it best. If you don't want to wait those years to have your breakthrough and to make those millions that you want to, go play overseas.
Right.
That's literally the easy way out. Emmanuel Mudiay.
That's a great name. Just go ahead and say that one more time.
Emmanuel Mudiay.
Oh, yeah, baby.
He played over in China for a year until he came back into the NBA, and now he's with the, I want to say, Denver Nuggets.
And that's the thing. I don't have a problem with people playing in these other leagues. Shout out to our boy Isaiah Holman from the St. Louis Spirit playing in the Mexican ABA. Mm-hmm. And you up your game when you can play with these other people because of the fact that you're not now held down to this one style. Mm-hmm. You know how to adapt. You can play better basketball. And for someone like Isaiah to go play in Mexico and some of these other guys to go play in these other little leagues that they play in, they're not little leagues. I mean, they're big leagues. But for them to go play and expand,
it's different exposure.
It's perfect. That's why, as a professional wrestler, I don't like the guys that go straight from. They come straight into NXT in the WWE and then go straight up. Yes, they are good, but they don't know how to adapt on the fly because those guys, like an AJ Styles who can adapt, and Ricochet, and those guys that can adapt on the fly, it's because they have the experience on the independent scene where they've gone to the UK and Japan and all these other places, and they've learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And so for them to for someone like Carter to go over to Japan, awesome for you, man. More power.
Definitely.
Because I guarantee he's going to see a totally different style of hitting and everything.
He'll probably come back to the majors, dominate.
10 times better.
Then he'll develop more over in Japan than what he would have in the minors. I can
Right,
easily
for
say
sure.
that. And then he'll make more on top of that.
Right.
Go ahead, Carter.
Absolutely. More power to you. So I want to give some credit, and I want to talk about a story that I found this week, and I want to hear what you think about this story too, Jared. Shout out to our friends over at Arch City Media. Arch City Media, you can check them out online at archcity-media or archcity.media. But there's a gentleman on there his name is Aaron Mullins, and Aaron has posted an article that I would be very happy if this happened, but I want to get your opinion on this too. Aaron is talking about the possibility of the St. Louis Cardinals getting Madison Bumgarner from the San Francisco Giants. Now, getting Madison is not going to be easy because we are going to have to give up quite a bit. Michael Wacha this week pitched himself out of the rotation. Michael Wacha, who was considered when he came up to be one of the premier players with the St. Louis Cardinals, is now going to be in the bullpen. Mike McMullen only managed about 1.1 innings in his last start. Both Flaherty and Hudson are young guys with a lot of bugs to work out, and Waino has been good at times while still very bad. The rotation ranks 13th in the National League in ERA and 21st in all of baseball. So getting Madison Bumgarner would be fantastic for the Cardinals because we would have a solidification in the rotation. And the good thing that Aaron talks about is most likely he'll sign an extension with us. Yeah. Well, that's one of the pros of bringing him in is he will most likely set up or come in with the wanting of an extension. With the way that he has his no trade set up, he'll have to make a choice of the destination that he goes to. So wherever he goes, he's definitely going to want to be there for a while.
It would be good to get him back in the rotation. Like you said, especially with Wacha, he can't stay healthy, so they're going to put him in the bullpen. Mike McMullen, he hasn't been consistent enough. Waino, he's been on and off. He's been for this past season, I'd say he's been fairly good over bad. But to have another ace in the rotation, it'll save the Cardinals.
Well, most likely, he's going to want to come to a place where he's going to get a contract extension. And the reason for that is because, like, if he comes here to St. Louis, Wacha, according to Aaron, Wacha and Waino are probably going to be gone next year. And I could see that because Waino's getting old, but I could see Waino...
If Waino's gone, he's retiring.
Either retiring or I can see him being re-signed, but not being a starter anymore and his position changing to becoming a setup man or something along those lines. Wacha, I could see that we don't want to re-sign him since he hasn't been very consistent, so he may not come back to St. Louis. Now, the other thing is, what will it cost to get a Bumgarner? That's the real issue is, what are we going to have to...
want to give up.
Well, Aaron is saying it could potentially be like a Tyler O'Neill or even an Alex Reyes, and we don't want to give up somebody like that. Now, he does have postseason success, and we're trying to get in the playoffs. We're trying to get past.
Especially against us.
Right. Yeah, especially against us for sure. So we're trying to get back in the playoffs and get that going. Now, he's 29 years old. He's a lefty. He gives us a little bit of depth as a lefty. But at 29 years old, are we going to want to spend big money on a player like this?
Well, I feel like both sides can agree that at that age, it can be there can be some agreement with money wise. It doesn't have to be this big max contract, but at the same time, give him what he deserves.
Sure.
Bumgarner, he is gonna knock on wood, if we do make it to the postseason, he's going to deliver, and we know that. And we know going into this trade or however we're going to acquire him, he's going to want us some money. So, and that's not what the Cardinals always, give.
Right.
We just gave Paul Goldschmidt our biggest contract in our franchise
Ever.
ever. So it's not going to be on our track record that, yes, we're going to give him some money, but I feel like that we can come to some type of conclusion to where we can make ends meet and come to some type of dollar amount.
Well, I hope so, and I think that we'll be able to, but
we'll see.
We're not for sure if this is going to happen. It's just kind of a toss-up, so we're not for sure. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us today. We appreciate everyone that has joined us for our new time slot. This is where we will be every Saturday, 10 a.m. live.
Central Standard.
Yeah, Central Standard. Sorry. I forget there's other time zones. It's my favorite part when I talk to other people. I'm like, where do you live?
Where are you from?
When I try to set up guests, I'm like, is this going to be too early in the morning for you? But Saturdays every week, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, absolutely. Actually, I think it's called Central Daylight Time because we changed the time zone. I think CST, Central Standard, is like Indianapolis. No, they're Eastern Time Zone. Central Standard is the states that don't change.
No.
I didn't know that until somebody corrected me. They were like, actually, sir.
Well, I was today years old when I found that.
Those are my favorite memes, dude. I love those videos. 10 a.m. every week, Central Daylight Time. Right here, we are live every week on Facebook, and then we turn around and pop it up for you on YouTube the next day, so you guys can check it out, as well as the recording of the show as well. We do post that on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and then it goes on our website as well. So check that out. We want to thank everybody. Make sure you go to go to sports-fox.com. Click on shop. Pick up a hat.
Yes.
Pick up a T-shirt. We are going to be
pick up 2 hats.
Yeah, pick up 2
T-shirts.
hats.
Tell everybody.
It's a great Father's Day gift.
It is.
Father's Day is coming up. We're going to be expanding that here soon to be adding some more stuff in there. Also, we are one of the official podcasts of ABA Basketball. We will be doing a lot with the ABA Basketball. The WABA starts in August, and then the Men's League starts in October. Yes. Mm-hmm. In October. June 1st, tryouts for that. If you want more information, go to basketballspiritstl.net. That's the St. Louis tryouts. I'm sure there's tryouts across the league. What else? Go to Arch City-Media. We appreciate those guys for giving us stories and stuff to talk about all the time. Overall, thank you, Mike McMullen, for joining us this week and being one of our first big guests to be able to be on the show. At least in our new format, we appreciate that. Yeah. And then this weekend, depending upon when you're listening to the show, whether this is live on Facebook or this is on YouTube later or wherever it's at. Thank you to the men and women that serve this country.
Definitely.
You guys, we remember you very much. You guys are always in our heart. You guys sacrifice more than
we ask.
And you know who else I want to thank? And it goes along with Memorial Day because these guys don't get enough of it. I want to thank the families of the soldiers and stuff because
they're the ones sacrificing the most.
Absolutely.
If anything.
People want to say that the soldiers sacrifice the most and all that.
They signed up for it. Yeah,
absolutely. But they knew what they were getting into, and the wives of these men and the husbands of the women that are part of the armed forces, they have an idea of what they're getting into, but they really don't know what they're getting into until it actually happens and they're in there. So we want to say thank you to you guys as well.
Everybody have a safe Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely. Don't drink and drive.
Don't act stupid. Don't shoot guns in the air for no reason.
I think right now, Memorial Day weekend, Uber and Lyft give you free rides.
Mm-hmm. Please call
So
please
use it. I use Uber all the time, dude. Uber is awesome.
Call me. I'll get you an Uber. I'll get you a Lyft. I'll be Uber.
The email is on my phone. Shoot us an email. It's right there. On air at sports-fox.com. Tell me where you're at. I'll come and pick you up.
Definitely.
Absolutely. You can hit us up right there on Facebook as well. There it is on Facebook. Let us know. We will be there. We'll help you out. But as you can see right there, we want to remember those who have sacrificed and paid the ultimate price for our country. We thank you very much. And we're going to leave you with this little video right here. Have a great Memorial Day. Thank you to Oasis Christian Church for this little tribute video. But for myself, I'm Robert Hickman.
I'm Jared Cooney.
And we'll talk to you guys next time right here on Sports Central.
Peace.
It is, in a way, an odd thing to honor those who died in defense of our country, in defense of us, in wars far away. The imagination plays a trick. We see these soldiers in our mind as old and wise. We see them as something like the founding fathers, grave and gray-haired. But most of them were boys when they died, and they gave up two lives, the one they were living and the one they would have lived. When they died, they gave up their chance to be husbands and fathers and grandfathers. They gave up their chance to be revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us. We owe them a debt we can never repay. All we can do is remember them, what they did, and why they had to be brave for us.